Welcome back, everybody. I hope you have had a wonderful day. Welcome back to Life Hacks for Lasting Love. Well, I've done it right. We're here today following our communications topic, learning to communicate, because I think that all of us have failed. I don't think anyone has a relationship that doesn't have an argument. And we have had some spectacular arguments.
We have.
We have found that we have different methods of dealing with the arguments, and today Lynn would like to talk to you about how to
resolve conflict.
That's it, resolve conflict.
So in our first episode we talked about the different stages of relationship, obviously the first stage being the romance stage, and the next stage is the conflict stage. And until you guys work out how to resolve conflict, you can't move into the stability stage. And so it takes a long time, and couples choose how long they stay in that conflict stage because it depends on when you decide to learn how to resolve conflict. And it took us a while. We certainly had some fights. We're both quite headstrong and both wanted to be heard. And we... I shouldn't look at him when I'm trying to talk. So basically, we just want to talk about, so one of the, and you'll find this with a lot of couples, there'll be one person who wants to talk about it there and then, and the other person who wants to avoid. And I'm the person who goes, let's resolve it, let's fix it, let's get to the bottom of this. And Steve was the one who'd want to run away.
All I needed was some think time, some time to calm down. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And I didn't understand that, and so, you know, sometimes I'd just follow him. So he'd even go out to the car, and I would follow him out to the car because I'd be afraid that he was leaving. Again, that was one of my underlying things is my fear of abandonment. Steve's is fear of rejection, and I didn't know that was operating. But I also wanted to fix it. I wanted to understand, and I was scared he wouldn't come back if he drove away.
I wasn't running away. I wasn't abandoning it, I just needed to calm down. I knew that I was angry, I knew that I was irritated, and I knew that the best thing I could do was take a little time out, whether it was a walk on the beach, just a walk around the block, whatever. I needed the time out. And
I needed to learn that. And, you know, there's an old saying, stop, count to 10. And we've actually realised it's not just counting to 10, that we do need to take time out in the heat of the moment. And there's been some great research, and especially from the Gottman's Institute, they do some great work on relationship counselling. And I think the best learning that I had and has really helped our relationship was really understanding the importance of just emotional flooding. So what happens in the time when we're arguing, you know, we move into fight, flight or freeze. And you know, the little part of our brain, that's that reptilian part of that brain, sort of says, oh, somehow we're arguing and we're upset with each other, and you know, I'm going to be abandoned, or Steve's sort of feeling he's being attacked, so he's got to attack back. And so we stop thinking. Our frontal lobe basically shuts down and we go into survival mode. Now when we go into survival mode, we're not rational, we're not thinking. And I love it, in America they actually, therapists, they were saying that sometimes they put an odometer on, and if your pulse rate has reached 110 beats a minute, it means that you're no longer in your rational mind, in your frontal lobe cortex, that you've moved into a different area, and so we're not thinking straight. And so really what we've learned is to be able to say, hey, I'm emotionally flooded, and to take time out to think about it, and to then come back together and go, we're not the enemy. How can we resolve this? This is not about being right or wrong. This is about what's happening for you and how can we resolve this. And so once I learned that that's what he needed, my fear that he wouldn't come home overnight or whatever, I actually then realised that no, he just needs time out, and knowing that he would come back. Now this only does work if you come back to resolve it. If you use the time out or emotionally flooded and never come back, unfortunately,
You've exacerbated the situation.
What happens is, and I've certainly seen that, and I had a beautiful client use the analogy that he'd gone into his cave to sort things out, so he'd called emotional flooding, and because he'd never come back and resolve it, she became the angry bear outside of the cave, so that the minute he did come out, she'd be attacking again because she was afraid he'd go back into the cave.
And all she was doing was forcing him back into the cave.
She was. And so really, if he had have just come out of the cave and said, hey, you know, let's talk about it, we can do that. And either, this is not gender, we have different ways. Some will move into fight, some move into flight, and others freeze. You just don't know what to say. So in those moments, stop. Don't keep arguing. You're not making sense. We're saying things that you don't mean. And please, that is something that I hear often. Oh, they said that in anger, so they must have meant it. No, often we say the darndest thing when we're angry. We say what we know that can push the other person's button
Darndest?
to hurt them, because we're feeling hurt. And, you know, a way to stop the attack is to attack back. And so it's really important, don't hold on to those things, but try not say them in those moments. We certainly don't have arguments at that 8 out of 10 anymore. We got up there.
Don't have the energy levels. Old.
No, it's actually, we've actually learned how important that we can actually be heard without having to go there. So really, if things are getting heated, you know you're not thinking straight, or you're saying things that you don't mean, say, I'm emotionally flooded, or even you can't think at all. I'm emotionally flooded, I need time out. Can we have 15 minutes? Go, take deep breaths, recalibrate. Remember, they are not the enemy, they are your partner that you want to dream together. So come back to each other and then try to fix it, not try to keep fighting. And that will really make a difference in your relationship. So guys, emotional flooding, call it, come back, resolve it, and you will be able to learn how to compromise. So thanks guys. As we said, we've now moved into a bit of a routine. Thank you everyone for your feedback. And we're really loving doing this, and thank you for your encouragement.
And please keep watching. Please tell your friends. Share us about a bit. We'd love for our life hacks to go and hopefully help more people, which is what we're here for.
And so just so you know, Wednesdays and Sunday nights, new episodes will be up. So keep tuned, and thank you. Bye.
See you next time.